Okay, do you want to learn my top tips for writing highly engaging Instagram captions that actually attract your ideal client to follow you, engage with you, and buy from you? I know the feeling of post paralysis when you wake up and you have no idea what you're actually going to post. In this video, I'm going to make sure you never have to feel like that ever again.
Don't lose your faith, keep it straight. I'm nothing like any other.
I am so excited about today's video because I've had so many of you ask me, how do I write captions that actually get my ideal client engaged and moving from, not really knowing who you are to wanting to buy from you? And there's a real system behind that. So hopefully after watching this video, you'll never be stuck for what to post again. And you feel really confident in knowing what you need to put out there in order to get engagement and to monetize your Instagram. So let's just dive straight in. My first tip is I want you to always post with purpose. Listen, I know you're trying to be consistent and then you realize you haven't got a post lined up today, so you just get something out. I really want you to move out of the habit of doing that and really think about what is the purpose behind this piece of content that I'm sharing. Am I sharing it to monetize? Am I actually selling something? Am I selling it to grow my audience? Am I trying to get engagement? What is the real reason behind this? Are you putting it out there because you want to build your brand and you want to introduce people to a little bit more about what you do? Really think about what the purpose it is behind this piece of content. And even deeper than that, think about what purpose this piece of content is going to serve in your ideal client's life. I know that sounds a little bit deep, but I know that you're not just wanting to post out there willy-nilly on Instagram, right? I know that you're out there trying to attract your ideal clients and convert them into clients. So I really want you to think about, what does my ideal client need to hear? What is going to connect with them? And start with different prompts. What do they need to hear today? What are they stuck on today? If you are kind of starting from scratch and you have no idea what your ideal client would even want to see, get into Facebook groups where your ideal clients are and ask the question. I'm sure that people are dying to give you those answers. Do market research, really pull together anything that you see that they're stuck with, they want to learn more about. Maybe they even want to see some of your life behind the scenes because it's inspirational to them. Whatever your business is, there is something that your ideal client is dying to hear from you. So I really want you to think about that when you're posting and make sure every piece of content that you put out has purpose, because I'd rather you create 5 pieces of content and kind of recycle them than create 15 pieces of content that you're constantly having to rewrite and the level of it's much lower because you're just trying to get content out there. So make sure every piece of content has a purpose. Another tip I want to share is getting your hook right. So when you are scrolling through Instagram, there's 2 things that are really going to catch your attention. There's the image, or there's the first 120 characters that you see of someone's caption. Now, I want you to think of this hook as your subject line in an email, right? So if you are interested in really diving into this, you can look into direct response copywriting, but it's a really, really good way of structuring your caption. You've got 2,000 characters, but you've only got that 120 to really capture someone as they're scrolling down their feed. And the goal really is to get someone to stop their scroll and then to engage with you, to take that next step. So really thinking about a hook that's going to pull in your ideal client. Perhaps it's the one thing you need to stop doing right now if you want to grow on Instagram, or this one thing is stopping you from losing weight, or this one thing cleared up my client's acne in 3 days, whatever it is. And I'm just making those things up. What is the hook that your ideal client is going to see and need to read on? Because remember, they don't see your whole caption. They need to click read more. And so if you follow the kind of format that direct response copywriting teaches, they'll get you to really think through what your hook is. And this is so incredibly important. Whether you're writing your Instagram captions or putting together an email, you only have a few seconds to capture their attention. So make sure you're putting your best foot or words forward in that time. Another really, really important tip that I don't see people doing enough is storytelling. Storytelling is such an incredible art that gets people to know you, to like you, to trust you, and it keeps them engaged. If you can tell really interesting stories in your captions, you are going to be having a really engaged audience who are coming back for more, who are wanting to engage with you, and you're stopping the scroll because they're interested in what you're writing about. So there's a few different ways you can do this. You can tell one story over a few posts so you get people really excited about coming back for more, or you can tell a full story in that short space that you have, that 2,000 characters that you have. And so I really ask my clients to think of 3 stories that they have. So the story should really relate to the journey of the ideal client that they're trying to attract. So For me, I have a few different stories. One of the stories that I tell over and over again is when I turned down a corporate job to go and be my own boss and be an entrepreneur. And the reason that I tell this story a lot is, first, it was a massive defining moment in my life. And second, because I know a lot of my ideal clients can really relate to me because they are in that position or they've been in that position. And so I don't have tons and tons of stories, right? I have a few different stories that I just tell over and over again because I'm like, hey guys, this is my story. This is how I got started. And this is how I know I can relate to you because I've been exactly where you are. And I know you've probably got the same thing. You've probably got 3 amazing stories that you can tell that your ideal client will feel like they can relate to you. They'll feel like they are where you are, or they've been where you've been, and that is going to build a lot of trust up with that ideal client. So I want you to go away and just make a note now of these 3 stories, and then on top of that, I want you to think of 3 stories you can tell from previous clients that you've had or previous customers that you've had. So this might be case studies, things like that. Why did that person come to work with you or buy your product? What pain were they looking to get rid of, or what problem were they looking to solve? And take them through that transformation that person had. Those stories are so gripping and engaging if you do it right, and they make amazing captions, and those are the kind of captions that people really want to engage with. So it's a really, really good way to build that know, like, and trust factor with your audience, as well as getting engagement. Another thing that I really want to encourage you to start doing is repurposing your content. How many times have you spent so long putting all of your effort into writing an Instagram caption and then you never use that piece of content again? Probably quite a few times. So I want you to get into the habit of repurposing your content. So whether that's a blog post that you've written that you're going to turn into an Instagram caption, or it's a podcast episode you're turning into a blog post which you're turning into an Instagram caption, I want you to start getting the most out of any content that you create, because I'm a content creator and I can tell you it's tiring to constantly be on that hamster wheel of creating new content. If I create a good piece of content, you better believe I'm going to use that so many times. I'm going to repost that caption every month. And you might think, well, aren't people going to get bored of seeing the same caption? Honestly, people don't remember. People see that piece of content again and they liked it the first time, they're going to like it the second time. They don't always remember. So I repeat my captions. I turn, a YouTube video into a podcast, into a blog post, into a caption, into a story. I turn an Instagram TV into all those same things. I really reuse my content as much as I possibly can because I don't want to be on that content creation hamster wheel. I want to get the most out of every piece of content that I create. So in a previous video, I talked about this, but think about creating a spreadsheet where you can put all of your really, really good content and put it in a Google Drive, right? And link it in this spreadsheet so that you've got all of your content. So if you're ever struggling about what to post, you can go in there and you can see the content that you've created in the past, and it's going to make your life so much easier when it comes to creating content. Okay, now onto the tips that are going to help you create content that really gets engagement and could possibly go viral in your caption. So we've talked all about the images that could go viral. If you haven't seen that video yet, I'm going to link it, but let's talk about the kind of things you can put in your caption that can really get you engagement. The first thing, ask questions. Ask people about themselves. Make sure it's not too complicated, because the minute you make it too complicated and people have to really overthink their answer, they're probably not going to respond to you. Make it easy and, get people to introduce themselves, tell you where they live, what their star sign is, all of these different things. It can be really, really fun to do that, and you can get them to put that in the caption below. And I also want to share, so we actually got over 23,000 comments on just one post on Boss Babe. Now, this isn't normal for us, but we did something that was really, really powerful, and I want to share it with you. So we created this image that was explaining, if you've been tagged in this post, it's because we think you are XYZ, right? We made this amazing post. And then in the caption, we said, tag a queen who needs to hear this. And if you can easily share that piece of content with someone you love and make them feel really loved and appreciated with just a few seconds, you're probably going to do it. And so we did this as a test to see, does this kind of content work? If someone has the opportunity to share love or gratitude with someone else in a few seconds, are they going to do it? And the answer was yes. We had over 23,000 people tag their friends. Now, not only was that amazing for the algorithm, for us, for getting, eyes on our content, but all of the women that were getting tagged in this post, these were our ideal clients because they were being tagged by friends who were also our ideal clients. So we then opened ourselves up to 23,000 people who were our ideal clients. And we got so many followers that day of people who have went on to engage with our content and buy from us. And it was such a great way of doing it. So think about how you can incorporate that in your content. How can you ask questions? How can you make it really easy for someone to compliment someone else or send love or gratitude or appreciation to someone else? How can you encourage commenting or tagging below? You know, are you doing a giveaway? Are they going to win something? How can you really incentivize that engagement? Those posts really, really work. So maybe go away and think about 5 ways that you could incentivize engagement in your business. Is it, like I said, a giveaway? Is it sharing a compliment? Is it tagging someone that they want to send gratitude to? What is the reason for them commenting below? Is it sharing what they do and where they're from so they can network with other people? Really, really think about what it looks like to incentivize that kind of engagement on your business profile or on your personal profile. And then the last and final tip that I want to share with you is I want you to always be thinking about what your ideal client needs to hear, not what you feel like posting, right? You have an audience to create content for, and so you need to be creating content with them in mind, not you in mind. I want to talk about my dog today. They might not want to hear about your dog today. So I want you to sit and maybe pull up an Excel spreadsheet. Listen, I love a spreadsheet. If you haven't guessed by now, I'm obsessed with spreadsheet. Pull up a spreadsheet and start writing your ideal clients' pain points. Start writing what it is that they are struggling with. Start writing what they need to hear today. Really start to think about what it is that's going to get your ideal client to stop the scroll, and go and write a ton of ideas in there. And you might end up with a spreadsheet with 100 content ideas. If you keep doing this week on week and putting together 5, 10, 15 ideas, pain points, pleasure points, really, really getting into the head of your ideal client, you could end up with a year's worth of content just from doing that. And so when you sit down to create content, you simply pull that idea and you write a caption based on that, because it's real. I bet if I always imagine, right, if I sat across from my ideal client and they said to me, Natalie, can you take a look at my Instagram profile and tell me what I'm doing wrong? I know I could pull up their and I could write something and show them exactly what they're doing wrong. That'd be really easy for me. So I want you to think, if you were sitting having coffee with your ideal client and they said, I'm really struggling to lose these extra 3 pounds. What am I doing wrong? You could just come up with something out of thin air and come up with the best thing. That's what you're doing with your Instagram captions. You're simply answering questions. So just pull up this spreadsheet, close your eyes, imagine you're sitting there having coffee with your ideal client. What are they asking you? What are they really curious about? What can you provide them that no one else can? What answers can you give them? And really don't be worried about giving away too much in your captions, because you cannot in 2,000 characters give away every single thing you know. You have this space to really provide value to your ideal client and build that know, like, and trust factor. And I know if you sit and you think about the ICA, the ideal client avatar, asking you a question, you're going to get a content idea like that. I know it. So hopefully these tips have really helped you. Now, I want to do something special because I know so many of you are probably listening to this thinking, well, I'm really confused what this looks like for my profile, or I'm not sure what my bio should be, or I'm not sure how to really optimize my profile. So I'm going to give one of you a completely free audit. So what I want you to do is post below with your Instagram handle, and in the next video I'm going to pick one of you at random and I'm actually going to show your Instagram on my video and I'm going to fully audit it for you. So really going into what your bio should look like, your profile picture, the way you describe yourself, the images you should be posting, the captions you should be posting. I'm going to really dive in there. So if you want this, just post below with your Instagram handle, and remember to subscribe to my channel, and there'll be another video out next week.